We are live. Welcome to the RedBlue pod number 6 with you can now present yourself even if they probably know it already.
Yeah, Cole, as always, and maybe we'll get someone else on here in the future. Who knows?
Yeah, someone like someone that will be there. That's the thing. Because I know I can
Mm-hmm.
count on you. That's the thing. I know I can count on you. That's
Yeah.
why you're like co-host at that point. But yeah, in the future, if we have like more people that are really into that and invested and interested, of course we can have more people on the panel. But right now we keep it short because I'd rather have a small crew than a big crew that I can count on, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, the topics of today, uh, The Boys Season 3 and Superman and Lois Season 2. We will start Season 1, I mean. Season 2 is next week. So this week we cover Superman and Lois Season 1 and The Boys Season 3.
Yeah.
We will start off with The Boys this time around because I have bad memory. I've seen it last week with
Uh,
Thursday in mind, and I still have it somewhere in my mind. So I think you should start to refresh a bit what's going on there. I still have notes here and there, and I did my review already, so it's still there. I still remember it, but it's better you
mm-hmm.
start. you know.
Well, I remember the thing opens up again. I mean, I don't have the best memory either, but I remember correctly, like season two, ended with kid's mother dying, and then them splitting up again to safe for him to be safe, kind of, and I think it opens up with like that movie premiere, and I don't know if I if it was like making a joke out of like the Snyder cut, what the things they said, but it's pretty funny.
I
It's like,
think
yeah,
that's what they
thank you
were
for
doing.
releasing
I
the
remember.
cut. Yeah. Yes, and then there were a bunch of character clashes again, and at the beginning there was that fucking little guy who blew up the one guy. That was remember that scene?
Yeah, yeah, I do.
Oh, that just made me laugh so fucking hard.
There is a lot of laugh here and there. Like, I will be honest, even if I have
Mm-hmm.
issues, I still laugh a lot, and it's still good comedy at some extent. But yeah, keep
Yeah.
going, man. Keep going. That will bring back the
Yeah.
memories.
Oh yeah. Well, the one thing I really wanted to was hoping they would do well. Obviously, coming into season three was the new villain that like they teased at the end of season two. That was kind of like hidden in plain sight. I thought that was very creative. And I wanted to, what did you think of her overall? The one who was like exploding the heads and stuff. Forgot
Oh,
exactly her name, but yeah.
okay. She was kind of cool in season 2 because there was a lot of mystery, and you're like, oh, what the hell is going on? And I think at first, at the start of season 3, I enjoyed her a lot. But for me, everything went downhill in episode 5.
Mm.
Now, I won't go too much in detail because I will still let you elaborate, and I will add more
Yeah.
later on.
Yeah, I
But
mean, honestly, I'm not the best with like this, just saying like certain scenes in the shows and like what happened because my memory honestly isn't the best either, but I
that's
definitely
fine.
will. Yeah, but so Butcher or whatever, but whatever his name is, I forgot. The main guy with the beard. I mean, what did you think about? Because you said there were a lot of things that was like a downgrade in season two. I don't know if you thought
Yeah.
he was one of them, but what did you think about him in season three though? Because there was
Butcher?
definitely like a bit of yeah Butcher. Because there was definitely like a bit of a change to his character at points now that well,
I,
after everything that happened in season two. I wanted. So, did you like it more?
I think
Like,
I think what bothered me the most in both season is the 7. The 7, they don't grow. They just don't. Maeve is amazing. She is the exception. Starlight had some good stuff in season 1, but she felt like a letdown in season 2. In
I
season
mean,
3, Starlight come back really
yeah,
good.
I agree. I agree. Honestly, in season two, though, the first half when I was rewatching, I'm like, I didn't understand your complaint because I thought it was actually like, a good change, tonal shift. Then it made sense, and it was also kind of like being taught like how it felt at points to be in like the other girl's shoes, honestly, from season one. But then later on, I got what you were saying. I was like, okay, yeah, I think they could have definitely done a lot better. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think she's definitely improved in season three. Like again, I thought season two was definitely the weakest. I still thought it was great, but yeah, season three was definitely like a step in the right direction again, and for the characters. But I mean, yeah, when it comes to like character growth, I mean, like
there's
I
none.
get
With
I
the 7,
get
there's
why
none. It's
I
all out.
get why there isn't with like the seven at points with a lot of them, but it's just because I understand why there wouldn't be in areas with them, but there was areas with them that there was character growth in, but and I think they could have definite in small areas, and the thing is they could have like utilized that more to like make really compelling storylines that they were kind of leaning on, especially with A Train. But then they didn't really like take too far, and I think that was wasted potential.
Yeah.
Really,
I
what do you
cannot
think
stand
about
A
that?
Train anymore. I just cannot stand that character. He
I
is
honestly think he
godly
overstayed his
awful.
welcome.
He is the
Over.
worst character in this show. Uh, like him and Deep, they are really, really atrocious. Um,
I mean,
I,
deep. I think it's just comedy relief, honestly.
I just cannot
And I
stand
think
these
it's
two.
like 50-50 with him. Like again, I think the comedy relief with Deep worked
He is
so
funny.
well in season one, but
He is funny. Don't get me wrong. Even if I hate the character, I can still find enjoyment. Um, but A Train should have died in season 1. They did nothing with him in season 2. And in season 3, they had a chance on redeeming the character and making me care for that character, but they ruined everything. Because this is what they do. In season 3, I think season 3 is the worst. It's the worst now for
wow, you think
different
that? Wow.
reason. For different reason. I think the writing is a huge letdown with season 3 because they give so many good seeds that can end up into great storyline, but they just don't want to do it because they are scared to take risk, or they are scared to mess up with the risk they may take. So what they do, well, they just plant the seed, and these seeds leads to no interesting storyline. I did like a lot that maybe we could have a divide within the 7, but of course, A Train ruined everything because that's A Train and he's a plot device. He's not a character anymore.
Yeah, I
Another
again
character that feels like a plot device, Ashley, and now she's in charge. And just
again they should not have left A Train back in the seven. I think it would have been so much better if he just didn't get back in with his character and they took him other directions.
they,
Again, like see, definitely, I agree with you. He overstayed his welcome for way too long, and I knew that. Like, I loved him in season one, and every obviously, and a lot of stuff they did with him. But I knew that was not a permanent. Just like Taika Waititi with the Thor franchise, how
yeah,
Ragnarok worked, but it wasn't gonna. It wasn't a long term thing, so they shouldn't have kept him for Love and Thunder. That's how I
yeah,
felt about A Train. It's like either do something different with him like they tried to do with Deep, or you have to kill him off like somewhere like in the middle or near the end of like season two, I would say. But yeah, he's overstayed his welcome way too long.
I think one of the only really good scene with Deep this season was the one where Homelander forced him into eating a fish alive. I don't know the name. Maybe a
Oh,
octopus. Like this was made
that
for
was
for
so.
comic relief, but that was really dark, and that was like that moment where you realize Deep has no morals. He knows it's wrong, he will still do it because it's Deep, and Deep is just like that. So I like the message behind it, and I kind of liked it was used as comic relief. It's dark humor, but it's humor nonetheless. So we have a lot of great moments in season 3. Season 3 has a lot of really good stuff. I still think it's worse than season 2 because they wasted so many plot lines, so many ideas. Edgar was my favorite leader of Vought. He was amazing in season 2, even if he had no superpower. He was threatening for Homelander, the strongest man on Earth. And then what they do in season 3, they write him off because they don't know how to handle him. And they write him off in some off character moment. The lady that blew up heads, I don't know her name. I think it's Victoria. She basically backstabbed Edgar. And
Mm.
it fell off. It fell off because I was like, the right thing to do for that character is to throw Homelander under the bus. She was scared of Homelander. So what if she does that to make Homelander enemy of everyone to the light, you know? Like,
Mhm.
that would be smart if you do that, and now everyone hates Homelander. Like, do you really think, yes, he may attempt something against you, but then everyone will hate him anyway, so he will be in great danger as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And
It's
and
like,
and then later on they say, "Oh, Edgar would have done the same to you." So that line was only to tell us Edgar was willing to backstab uh, Victoria
mhm.
because this is the world we are living in. If you don't throw someone under the bus, that someone may throw you under the bus. That's really dark,
I
but that's another good message I like. But I also got another issue. How does Homelander know she has powers? There's a lot of question. How does Victoria know? Um, Yui have seen her. Edgar told her nobody have seen you. And now we need to search in the Ed canon and give reason to the writer of why this happened. And when we start doing that, we see cracks in the writing. And usually I don't find plot holes like that. I just don't. I'm not really good at finding plot holes, but I do. And Homelander overstated his welcome. I kind of enjoyed what they did with him in season 2, but in season 3, he feels the same as season 2, and nothing
yeah,
happened with him.
I'm sorry. In season 3, I knew going in they had to up the stakes with him to such an extreme, else he would just feel a bit more stale, and I don't think they really achieved that. I
He,
mean, what did you think of Black Noir?
Black Noir, that's a weird one. He was my favorite part of season 2. And I liked him in season 1 as well, even if he had like 2 minutes of screen time in season 1. I think in season 3, he was outshined by pretty much everyone else. So
Mm,
that's the thing. Like, I don't have that much negative to say about him. Oh yeah, well, I got something to say about him, but it's more about the flashbacks. Feels like the flashbacks episode where we see him white out his mask and speaking was made by another writer. And
I don't think they would have done that otherwise.
I don't like that. I don't like that because usually
I would have liked
flashback,
if they didn't have him speak.
if you do flashback, it's to help understanding present day. But here it feels like it clashes with present day. So these
Hmm.
flashbacks were a good idea, but they clash with the main storyline. So here again, it goes back to the writing, and I see cracks, you know? And I really wanted, like, I will be honest, episode 1 felt like season 2, episode 3 felt like season 1. So I really did not like episode 1, and then I liked episode 2. But then episode 3 was kind of fine. Episode 4 was kind of fine. But then episode 5, everything turns into crap when Victoria backstab Edgar and Ashley is made boss of Vought. A-Train. A-Train, the
Yeah.
perfect plot device. The guy that got 3 times in a row the same story. Season 1,
They really are just using him as a plot device at this point.
yeah, season 1 was really good with him. I enjoyed him so much in season 1. Then season 2 came in. I was like, he should have died in season 1. And I say the same with season 3. In season 2, the only really thing he did in the story was being a plot device, giving the proof to the boys against the bot and stuff. Like, look, Stormfront is a bitch, like that, you know? That it was plot device. And his story was, I want to be on top again because I don't like not being on top, you know? And now season 3, it's the same thing again. He cannot run anymore. Oh, no, wait. Now they did even worse. They fixed his heart disease. So now, at least, season 4, we won't have the same crap, but now he has no weakness.
Yeah,
The
I
divide
don't know.
within
It's
the
just like
7.
I
The
really don't understand why what they're still trying to do with him, where they've kept him around for this long. Like it seems like they just did nothing with him in season 3. Well,
and
I
I will go
don't get it.
further with that. A-Train in season 3 had potential for a great storyline with his brother being paralyzed. What they do with him? He will kill a police that has hatred toward black people. And not only they do that, they cover up the whole thing. Wardy,
Hmm.
yeah, yes, this is A-Train. No, there won't be any redemption. I'm telling you, they just don't know how to handle A-Train. But that's the way I see it. Maybe I'm too
Yeah,
negative toward that
I don't
character
know.
after three
I mean,
seasons
what
of
about
emptiness.
the? What do you think about the main character?
Yui,
Yeah.
I enjoyed Yui a lot. Um, my issue with season 3 is really the 7. I think everyone in the boys was really good. I liked it a lot, and I think my my other issue with season 3, the freaking musical. I cannot stand that. It's so cringe. I
Not a fan
tapped
of
out of
musicals. Yeah.
I tapped out of an entire sequence in the hospital when they start singing. Speaking about musical, in episode 1, I think, or episode 2, the muted girl starts singing, but she doesn't speak. So, what's going on with
Hmm.
that?
Yeah.
And that's
I don't know.
before she lost her power. So, you see,
I don't. Honestly, I would have like loved if there was another moment like at the start of season 1 with Homelander, but oh, sorry, season 2
yeah.
with the fucking blind character. Really wish there was another moment like that.
And I was really pissed off in season 3 when they first picked up and told us like Stormfront is still alive. But at the end that's kind of fine because then that pushes Homelander to let someone commit suicide. But here again, he's still seen as that hero and it's ridiculous. It makes no sense, but hey, this
It
is the
makes no
show.
sense how they have. Like, listen, I understand like what they're trying to do with like the message, of like a delusional, but it gets to a certain point where it's not believable anymore. This is that certain point.
Yeah, and
It would
I
have been better if he's just like if there's how do I say it's like if most people know he isn't a hero, but it's like it's like they're too afraid to
and there,
too afraid and like forcing it. That would have been a lot better.
there was also that plot point I kind of liked when they teased that what if Starlight exposed Homelander and everyone ate Homelander, and then Homelander has a plan to like destroy the USA. I was like, is it a tease for a future season? So this kind of stuff it need to happen at some point in the show. But what I also want is someone able to stop him, and we don't have that because now Ryan is on his side. It's so frustrating. They do everything so the plot just drag on for longer. It feels like they could have solved season 3 in episode 5. Instead of throwing Edgar under the bus, you throw Homelander under the bus. Season 3 solved. But no, it's not. It's not going to happen. They want to drag it on. That's the feeling I get. And here again, with A Train, it's wasted potential with his brother because now his family is like, oh yeah, I ate you, so now there's no more the family aspect to him, and I will go further than this. It didn't change him at all. No, he's still the same jerk. He killed someone, so it didn't really affect him. He's not like
Mhm.
in some kind of big plan to take down Homelander. No, 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 no. So you see, my real big issue is with the seven. Here again, let's go back to the boys. I think Huey had great stuff. I like that kind of drug addiction and the fact that he realized he wanted to be like something more, but he's not. And he tried so hard to be something more, but he's not. I liked it a lot because this is character growth. Even if he is not that changed, even if he is not a brand new character, he came to the realization of something. And sometimes, even as a human being, we are like that. We realize
Mhm.
something about ourselves. So I liked that aspect a lot. Now, speaking about the boys, I think Marvin. Now I know his name. Season 1 and 2, I didn't know. Like the father of the girl and the guy that basically hit the Trump supporter. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Marvin. I know his name now. That's a good start, right? But Marvin is a very likable character. I really feel for that character, and man, I think, like I said it in season 1 and 2, like Frenchie is probably my favorite one. But I think with that season, Marvin, man, Marvin is one of my favorite character. Um, I still think there's something weird. The stepfather felt rushed into the story just as plot device for comic relief because I don't remember seeing him in season 1 or 2. Maybe at the end of 2, but I feel like he was just an insert for political ideas. Now, some joke landed well with that stupid Trump supporter, but the ending where they all clap after Homelander just murdered someone in front of them,
Mhm.
it makes no sense. I was
Again,
so
are they kind of
frustrated.
like are they kind of like doing it just out of like because they're scared, or what do you think?
I think people really clapped.
You think so?
Considering these writers, yes. Like, if that was any other shows that are not political, trust me, I would be like, these people are afraid. But because I have seen the intent of the writer in between the lines and the dialogue in both seasons we got in a row where political was injected, because I don't remember that much politics in season 1, otherwise, trust me, I would never say it's a
I
masterpiece.
mean, I definitely saw the real life politics. Okay, so I mean, my opinion on is season two, like political and stuff or not. I mean, I would say it's definitely has like pol- political things like based off of real. in real life things that didn't really need to belong. Definitely, like obviously ones you were just talking about, and then the one in like Liberty character. I know her and like the flashback of her killing the one character. It was like reminiscent to like a certain incident that happened in like the '60s, and from like what the writer said. So based off of real life. So there's definitely that. As far as it woke or not, I mean, there were like one or two moments I would say definitely were, but I do say that the show was kind of outside of like some of the in real life things like the Trump stuff that it was kind of leaning towards
Yeah.
a lot of that from season one anyway, and it kind of made sense with like where the characters were going. I mean, whether it was executed or written or not, I mean, is up to you. But I mean, that's what I thought. But yeah, there were definitely some of it though. I would have to agree with you, and I am afraid. Like, again, I definitely have issues with season three now that I rewatched all three of them. I definitely agree with you now that season one's the best and better than season three. Season three, I mainly was just like the hype with me and online, but
Yeah.
yeah, I still definitely I still thought it was great, but definitely a lot of issues though. And but really makes me scared though for like the spin-off show they're doing because the write-in errors they're making in it.
It,
Yeah, I can definitely see just tons of those being in the spin-off show, especially with like the premise for it. It's like it's something that's just like made for them completely fucking up.
yeah, and here's the thing. I feel like the spin-off, now we will do some kind of extension on the spin-off because we brought it back, but we'll go back to season 3. I'm not done yet, you know. But I feel like the spin-off is just content for sake of content. I don't feel the need for it.
Hmm.
And based on the disappointment I got with season 2 and 3, I'm not that excited anymore, you know? Like, after seeing season 1, I'm like, I'm on board, I will enjoy it, but then I'm like, okay, season 2 was kind of meh, season 3 was kind of worse for other reason, so I will still watch it, and we'll still cover it, but I'm not that excited about it anymore, and I have no expectation anymore. I'm like, only season 1 is really top notch for me, so I I don't want any expectation from that spin-off because I will enjoy it if I enjoy it, and I won't if I won't, you know.
Hmm.
So I think
Yeah, well,
if
I'll definitely give it a chance, but yeah, I mean, it's probably not going to come out until like around 2023 at earliest probably.
yeah, I think they will try to smash it in between two seasons for the sake of content because I think
Hmm.
it takes like 2 years for that show to have like one season. Not quite sure about that, but it's roughly that or like 1 year and a half. But
Hmm.
season 3, man, so many good seeds that didn't pay off well for me. Uh, the girl losing her powers and getting the powers back. Usually, I don't like that kind of stuff in superhero TV show. The Flash did it. Smallville did it. Many
Hmm.
show overuse that kind of stuff. I don't know if you have seen Superman and Lois season 2 yet. Even if we don't cover it, I will go
Not
on that
not
tangent.
not yet.
Okay, so I will
Not
not
yet.
speak about anything from that. So Smallville did it. I didn't like it. Supergirl
Ah.
TV show did it. I didn't like it as well.
Hmm.
The Flash did it. I didn't like it as well. But here, I actually liked it because you really see the girl having that struggle, and you really think for a moment her power are really gone. But then
Hmm.
they inject her back with the serum, and this time around that's her choice. And I kinda like that idea. She wants to choose to protect her friend. So she feel like a more complete character because at the start of the season she was like, I ate my powers, I ate myself, I feel like a monster and stuff. And at the end she feels like she's at the right place with her friends, and she felt powerless. She didn't like feeling powerless. Uh, that
Which I mean could come back in season 4. Like
yeah,
I mean, fact that like she feels like she needs some like it could play into something darker. I mean, in season 4, if they really want to go that route.
they won't. They don't take risks, so I don't expect that kind of storyline.
Yeah, they clearly don't because A Train should have been gone a while ago.
Yeah.
Again, I loved him for what he provided at first, but God, he should have been killed off like midway through season 2 at latest.
Based like maybe acting a plot as a plot device once could have worked at some extent, and I'm like, okay, he does that to make the plot move forward, but then he get killed off by someone because he
I
did
mean, they
that.
could just again, they can just have like somebody else do it. They'll just one of their assistants. Like he doesn't need to be like a plot device or anything.
Yeah.
They could just have different characters do it. Like I just don't. But whatever. But I mean, overall though, like, what's your overall thoughts on like this show as a whole? Like, what would you rate it like combined?
All three
For me, I,
together?
for me, it would be something like an 8.5. But that's just me.
That's too high for me, because as
Because again, even though I agree with all the issues you had with season 2 and season 3, some of them didn't bother me as much, and I still
yeah.
really like the positives. So I give season 2 and season 3 a higher rating, but than you probably. But I
Yeah.
mean, again, the writing's
A lot
definitely the
higher.
number one issue. The writing's definitely the number one issue with this with season 2 and season 3. But outside of the writing, though, I did still love everything else for the most part. I still loved the characters and all the acting, even if the writing and just the where they took them wasn't the best at a lot of times. So I
Yeah.
mean, I would give them still like a 7 out of 10 or
Like
7.5, and then I would give season 1 like a 9.5. So kind of levels it out to there.
yeah, like season 2, even with the woke stuff and the message and stuff I didn't like, I still think as a whole the writing was still kind of good because I wasn't able to find like big plot holes, or plot points didn't bother me as much as what they did with season 3. I think season 3 is clearly too many step down in the writing department because many things clashes together, and I just don't like that, and feels dragged because, as I said, I feel like they could have ended season 3 with episode 5. And looking back at season 3, I don't remember any episode I was like, that was my favorite, it was really good, it was amazing. Maybe the last episode, but that's more because of the action. And maybe the episode where we had Butcher, Homelander, and Yui and Soulja Boy all fighting each other at the orgy place. Uh, Here again, I felt like they could have taken down Homelander, but of course, they made him run away because they wanted him to look scared, and they wanted him to still be around because they like the actor and they don't want to get rid of the character because they don't know how to like make a show without that character. That's the feeling I am getting from that. um I felt like when they had that big showdown, that could have been a great moment where Homelander is defeated and Soulja Boy becomes the next villain. But
That or again, even if they don't want to like get rid of Homelander, right? Again, like they want to go like an invincible route, which they clearly have with this show, and since it's the same producers, like again, it's fine if you don't want to get rid of Homelander yet. It's just like do something different. They either should have done something different with him or make it so the audience would like know that like season 4 is probably going to be his last season, and then he gets like taken down in it,
yeah,
like something happens in season 3 where he's like at his breaking point and it's
yeah,
about to end for him, and then can move on without him or just end the show. But it
I
Got
think
that, or just have Soldier Boy be that. I don't know, either one.
I think they are really lazy in the writing department because they keep telling some kind of things they already did in past season, and I think it's really hard for me to give a grade to all three seasons so far, and I think it's really unfair to like balance it out just because season one is a masterpiece. Then we could say it's a
Hmm.
good show. I think it's really hard with three season in. I like to give like some kind of grade when a show is over so we have the full picture, but now I can see the show having five season. I think five season can be a good number
Hmm.
for that format because it's short season and it's very cinematic. So I feel like if they go further than five season, they will just push their luck. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I think it's something like you need to take a look to all five seasons. But if you really want like a number on the first three season, it's really hard. But I will give a number for the sake of content. Uh, so I will place all the numbers I got so far. 9.8 with season 1, 7 with season 2, and 6.8 with season 3.
I really thought season three would be better for you. Like, I mean, it was for me, but like, I
The
understand it
writing
has still
department
some of the
suffered too
issues.
much. As I
Okay.
said, it's 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 different issues, and it's worse
Hmm.
for other reason. Like
Okay, I see.
musical. There's at least one musical almost on each freaking week. And I will say that it was more consistent in the numbers I was giving on each episode. But then we
Hmm.
have that fluke number with episode 5 because I really hate episode 5. I think episode 5 is the worst episode in the entire show so far. Um,
I mean that. I mean, it definitely was not. It definitely was not one of the best ones at all. That was pretty lame.
and I look back at season 2. There's that episode 6 that I still remember being one of my favorites I got since the show first started.
Mhm.
So I it's not that far apart. 7 and 6.8. It's really close, you know, and
Yeah, I mean, what do you? Since you hate the musicals, I mean, what's your opinion, by the way, on like Joker 2 being a musical? Do you like the idea of that or no?
no, no. It goes against the first one, and it's not a way to sell a movie. Um, I'm not interested. I liked Joker 1 a lot. It's one of my favorite comic book movie. And even if they're not the most original one out there, even if other movie did it better, I don't care. I've seen Joker. I like Joker. um, and I feel like the sequel is something we don't need. Joker was a complete story in itself, and I feel like adding more is useless. And it's not needed. It's just cash grab and easy money for the studio. But the fact that it's a freaking musical, I will wait and see people reviews before even thinking about maybe giving a shot to the movie. Um, I think some musical can be well done. I think the fight scene were in episode 8, I believe, where there was some kind of music and it was like a dance. I actually liked it. And that was the music that was singing, not the characters. So that's a big difference for me. When the characters start singing, that tapped me out of the show. Like, clap, Thanos clap, I'm out of the show. And I come back after they're done doing their sing. But I like music. And I like when they use music to tell stories and what's going on. I like it.
Mhm.
But I don't like it when they use characters to drive that music and to like give that insert, you know? Like
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, but okay, I get that. But
I
is there anything else you have to really say about the boys?
I think since it's 9.8, 7 and 6.8, I will lean toward a 7. Even if there's a 9.8, that's a fluke.
Mhm.
So I think 7 out of 10 so far, and it's because I recognize and acknowledge how well written the first two seasons were. Um, Season 3 is many step backwards, but yeah, I hope season 4 is better in the writing department because this was really felt. In season 3, this was really felt. Um, no more politics injected. Like, sometime if you use a sketch, if you want to be funny, sometimes that's fine. I like the moment where Marvin hit the stepfather. And that was very political. Look at that jerk. We need to smash him because he's a Trump supporter, you know? But then we got the scene where someone laser a Trump supporter and everyone claps. It's like, what am I watching?
Yeah,
So,
I mean, you did. So you liked how the politics were handled in season one, though.
yeah, that's why it's a masterpiece for me. I feel like the politics in season 1, I had a good amount, and it didn't feel like it was taking me out of
Hmm.
the media. It wasn't taking me out of the media. Like, I think they also benefited a bit of the politics they did use in season 1. That's why I still think it's a masterpiece. And if the entire show was like that, I would be praising the crap out of the show, you know, because I enjoyed season 1. I think I will actually rewatch season 1, but I don't see myself, like, for fun rewatching season 2 or 3. Maybe for content's sake at some point, like when I want to, like, revisit the show again on my channel, because I will probably do in the future when the show is over, you know.
Hmm.
I will probably revisit these season 2 and 3, but I will skip some episode and some scene, trust me, because yeah, 1 hour each episode. In season 1, I didn't felt the 8 hours. That was magic. Season 2, I
Oh
felt the
yeah.
8 hours. Season 3, I
To be
also
honest, I was
felt.
fast and forward some points of season two.
Yeah. Season 8, the same. Like, I felt the 8 hours. And season,
Yeah.
like, I liked Maeve. I liked Starlight when she had stuff. So they know how to do good stuff, but the bad outweighed sometimes all the good I would like to add, you know?
All right. Well, so you want to talk about Superman and Lois?
Yeah. So, do you want to start or I start?
Well, I mean, again, just like that. I mean, with don't have any scenes like specifically I want to talk about, but I mean, overall, so season one, I watched most of it like a year ago or so, but I never ended up finishing it, and I just decided to watch the whole thing again since I kind of forgot about it. But for some reason with like these CW type shows, I seem to watch an episode and then after the next, I kind of forget a lot of details about it. It's sort
Yeah.
of like when I was watching The Walking Dead outside of season one, which is, always stuck in my mind because that was really well written, but, and memorable. But, yeah, I mean, the overall, though, did I think about this? Well, a lot of my friends, who, and they hate pretty much everything CW and all of them have made, they always say two shows though by them that are really good, and that's Stargirl, which we watched and reviewed, and Superman and Lois.
Yeah.
And I would have to agree with them. This is probably my favorite show out of the CW lineup. This is the type of thing that I wish we would get more out of Superman today. This
Yeah.
is what Superman's really about. Now, I will say I do think this was kind of a fluke though that the show ended up being so good because the reason why is because every CW show is pretty much like this. They take superhero IP and they just turn him into like a regular average Joe drama TV type show with low budget and stuff, and just making like him trying to live a regular life with hours that, or like make it like a fucking teen drama thing with like Stargirl, which did work, or something terrible like fuck how Gotham Knights looks. For it ended up working for Superman and Lois because that's kind of what Superman's all about, and that's what makes him interesting. Him being this super powerful, immortal being, trying to live with regular humans despite the difficulties. That's what's so interesting about a lot of aspects of his character. Definitely think that was just a fluke because of it, though. I definitely don't think it's because like super well written or anything. And the reason why I kind of know that is because my biggest issue about this show is there's a lot of there's some side storylines or side characters that just I'm not really a huge fan of at all. I would have been better without, in my opinion. Always
Yeah.
have in those shows they do.
What are you
So
thinking
again,
right now, Cal?
sorry, I'm lagging.
Which character you're thinking about when you think about character you don't need?
Well, just a lot of like the side storylines and side characters. Honestly, like they're just like they weren't bad. It's just they weren't completely needed or good or great either. Like the main part of the show, and that's in every CW show like this, and they always have that shoved in. So again,
Yeah.
if it wasn't a fluke, then they would have been smart enough not to do that. So I do think this was kind of just like a bit of a fluke that it ended up being this good, just because that just happened to be the appeal of Superman and Lois with them unintentionally or intentionally realizing that or not with their format. And then since they can focus on like a smaller area for a lot of points, it can be a lot more well made, well shot there compared to their other stuff. So
Yeah.
so yeah, so because of that, I don't think it was. I definitely don't think it was like as you said with the boys with the lazy writing. I do think it had something to do with that, with with what you said about the boys season one kind of being a fluke. So that's
Yeah.
my opinion on it. But either way, I liked it a lot, and yeah, I really like the actor who played Superman. Uh, and he's not like a great actor for it, but he does it well enough and represents what Superman is.
Yeah.
And not that Man of Steel trash, from in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Jesus Christ. So what did you think of it though?
Season 1 is a masterpiece. In this,
Hmm.
it's a bit weaker than the boys' first season. I think I would rate it. It's been a while I've seen season
Like a
1. Like,
9.6.
huh?
Would you rate like a 9.6 or?
No. Actually, I gave Stargirl 9.5. So I
You
think,
gave The Boys season one like a 9.8, and you said it's
yeah.
like a bit lower, so like a 9.7.
Um, maybe like 9.4. Just underneath Stargirl because I preferred Stargirl first season, but that's just me liking a lot like street-based stuff, and I feel like Stargirl is more street-based than Superman because Superman is dealing with alien that can destroy the world by just being there, and Stargirl, they are not quite there in season 1. In season 2, it was much more dangerous, but that's still not Superman level, I think. But here
Mhm.
again, that's just me. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not Superman
Yeah, I
level.
know what you mean.
And I think I just like vigilante type and like street based stuff. That's my thing. I always like
Mhm.
much more like vigilante like Arrow than the Flash. I enjoyed a lot Arrow. I go back to Arrow a lot because Arrow is a classic in my own opinion. Despite a few missteps with season 3 and 4, that's also why I say I need to see a full show before telling it's bad or good, and that's also why it was really hard for me to say, okay, the boys' first 3 seasons. I
Yeah,
need
I
to
mean,
see
I
the
did
full
like the
picture.
two villains they set up at the very beginning of the season, though. Like, I did like how we had the typical like villain type character that superheroes fight, and then the other one, just the business type of guy. The more for the more dramatic scene elements, sort of like reminds me like the one character like he wasn't really much in the boys, but he's like at the start of like the first episode mainly of each season of the boys, that like business, that arrogant business guy, one who tried like offering him the $40,000 check or whatever when his girlfriend died. The main character, that guy,
Yeah.
and then at the beginning of season two, kind of reminds me a bit of that, the businessman in this. So what did you think about that? Because I really like that setup there.
That was a good one. I enjoyed a lot. That was like, oh, they did it. That's cool.
I mean, what's your favorite? What would you say is your favorite like dramatic scene in the show with
And
like that two or multiple like characters acting? Just like
right now
no
we are
action,
speaking about the
just
boys or Superman and Lois.
Superman and Lois, just
My
like
favorite
dramatically.
dramatic moment. Oh man,
Mhm.
I really don't know, to be honest. Season one is kind of a blur. I still remember like the big plot lines, but dramatic
Mhm.
moment. I think it's more like a wow moment in the season finale when John Henry Iron saved Lois this time around with the hammer. I
Mhm.
screamed the first time I've seen that. I was like, "Oh yeah!" I don't know if we can call
That-
that dramatic, but that scene, man, that scene stands out. It's like it's well written because the first time around he wasn't able to save Lois, but this time around he's a changed person, so he's able to save Lois, even if that's not his Lois. So I think that's kind of genius. I
Again, I
liked it
really love all the
so
family
much.
drama elements of the show. It
Yeah,
works so well with the two characters,
I think
difficulties.
Talro, the villain of the first season, is really, really strong. He is very interesting, and he is just cool. They chose well the actor, and I think
Mhm.
I really bought like their relationship, Superman and Talro. Like it felt natural. It felt like brothers, man. They feel like brothers. And Talro, without too much spoiler, you see him again in season two, and he is not wasted. That's all I will say. He is not wasted.
That's good to know.
He is not wasted. That's all I will say. And that's what they like when they take risk with character, when they allow character to grow. Um, Now I won't go too deep into season two because you haven't seen it, but I will say season one is much better than two. Um, Season two is still really good. It's still really strong. And if we speak about second season, I do think Superman and Lois is league ahead of the boys. But here again, that's just me. Um, it, like season one of Superman and Lois was really good. I think Lois, even if she's powerless, she feels important to the story and she feels important to Superman and the boys and things. They give her good material. She feels like the mother of the house. Like the family
Yeah.
dynamic is great. They well
And after
casted
that
these people.
shitty Lewis Lane in the fucking man, again, Amy Adams or whoever played it, great actress, but fuck, they way they utilized her, God. But then I watch her character in this show. Holy fuck, it's like night and day.
And that's crazy because she does reporter stuff, and that's her first season, and I liked her reporter stuff. And we have Iris in the Flash. In the meantime, she was like for 8 years she was there, and she had reporter stuff in the first 3 seasons, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, and even there, one season of Lois is more than all 3 seasons combined of Iris and the Flash. I'm like, it's the same kind of character. You just don't know how to handle these characters, man. That's so sad.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think um there were no filler in any of the two
Oh yeah,
seasons. Everything
they
felt
definitely spent
important.
their. See, that was my biggest concern going into this. So, like the filler, because this is definitely like type of show where that they could easily become lazy and get away with doing a lot of filler, sort of like in the Walking Dead style, how they just
Yeah.
had like shitty, dramatic, characters, just drama scenes and talking 95% of episodes, and then like 5% of important shit, and like the odd zombie after season one when they decided to fucking fire the main director and go cheap because AMC are a bunch of fucking assholes. That was my biggest concern for a show like this, that they could have easily done that, but they didn't. And I applaud them for that. That really was a relief. And I really love just how much Superman mythology they put into this. That really added to it.
Yeah, him learning all language by working on learning was an example for us. Like, yes, he's an alien. Yes, he is Superman, but he's also a man, you know? And I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's like the best iteration of Superman just because of that scene where you get that interview with Lois and the other people, and at the end of the interview we got like Lois liking Clark and Superman laughing because he knows he's Clark, you know? That whole episode of flashbacks was well done, and it was also well built into the story so we can actually turn Superman. And that's just great. Like, they handled it well. They plant some seed, and seed end up in good plot lines. And this turn with Superman also told us how John Henry Iron is not the same as when he first came in. When he first came in, all he see is the bad guy that destroys his planet. But as the season goes on, John Henry Iron realizes, whoa, he's more than that. He is a father, he is a superhero, and he has his weakness. He got turned because of his weakness being his family, not just kryptonite. And this is what I like the most with that iteration of Superman. Even if kryptonite was always a thing, now he got a family, and that family can be a weakness, and I like it. I like it so much.
I mean, did you like how Jor-El's death was handled?
Yeah, I'm fine with it, and
Hmm.
I think in season 2 we have good new stuff without going into spoiler territory, but Joel death was good. Uh, it
And you like
felt
how it was executed?
yeah, it felt sad. I felt sorry for Clark. I was like, wow, that must
Hmm.
be a moment. And then he buried the crystal, the broken crystal. That was sad, man. That was
Yeah, a good change of pace from the his father's death in Man of Steel, where you're just wondering what the fuck was that. God, that is not how Superman or his father is. God, thank you, Zack Snyder. But anyway, yeah. So, shit. I mean, did you have much of an issue with like some of the side characters or storylines, like outside of Kent, as I did, or were you cool with all that?
in season 1. No, I think most of the issues I can remember with Superman and Lois are in season 2. In season
Yeah, well,
1,
that's where I really I've watched like again. I say I haven't watched season two yet, but I did start on like the first few episodes. I can already tell like the side storylines and characters in that I'm gonna be more annoyed with in season 2, but so I can definitely already agree with you there, but yeah, especially that fuck, what's her name, that one character, Superman and Lois, do you know which one I'm talking about? The one female, what's her name?
Uh, Lana?
I'm trying to see.
Lana?
Might be Lana.
The mother of Sarah, the Clark's friend?
Like, or like Natalie or something.
Oh,
I
Natalie,
forgot.
the daughter of John Henry Iron.
I'll be honest. I liked what they were trying to go for there, but I wasn't huge fan of the execution.
The daughter of John Henry Iron is really cool in season 2 at the end. My issues are
Okay, thank
elsewhere.
God. Thank God,
She
because
she is
I'm not liking her too far right now. Like again, I like the idea, but I just don't like the execution so far.
she is my favorite supporting character of a supporting character.
Okay.
She is really good. Uh,
Okay, I'll trust you on that, but
yeah,
yeah, I'm a little shaky with her
like
right now.
we got a few moments here and there that are kind of annoying, but it's only moments, and
Mhm.
it's not off character because sometimes teenagers are really annoying, so it doesn't bother me. Um, I think like since we are speaking about season 2 whiteout spoiler, I think the biggest letdown of season 2 is the main villain. Oh my. We have supporting villain. The supporting villains are better than the main villain. That's one thing I found weird a lot. I was like, how
That
can
is
you
true, actually. They are
how
better.
how can you make the supporting villain better than your main villain? What went wrong? What did you do? Why?
I mean, what would you say it's more of like the supporting villains are just been to end up being that well written and that like so cool, or would you say it's more of a flaw of like the main villains like I'm not doing a good enough job of them?
I think it's a bit of both. I think the supporting villain are really well written and they are really good.
Yeah. I mean
Like,
that happens in like to be fair, I've seen many shows that kind of ends up happening though where the supporting villains end up kind of like overshadowing the main villain at points.
yeah, and these supporting villain, they do the role well, and they really tell the story on a really smart way, and they are really good. But then we got the main villain underdeveloped, and without going into too many spoiler, she feels like this video game villain. That's that's no small talk. That represent well the main villain. She is just a big boss you need to take down. That's it.
Mhm.
I think that's one of the few small issues. I think if I would give like a grade, it would be like in the eights. Um, not I don't think it's
For that character or
for the season 2.
uh
I
I
think
see. Okay.
8.5, maybe 8.5. I it's not 9 just
Yeah.
because of the villain.
Well,
Um
for now, I'd probably give season 1 of Superman and Lois like an 8. I like it more than Stargirl
yeah.
so far. But yeah, I'll see what I think about season 2.
Yeah, but to go back at season 1, I think season 1 was a great start, a great foundation. I think they build well the follow-up, but I remember more issues with the follow-up than the foundation. Um I think when I was really watching to review the thing, I was really having notes and like issues. I really needed to search for these issues because they were not that obvious at my eyes. That's why it's that good. Um, Talro, amazing character. The family was great. John Henry Iron, man. John Henry Iron is also amazing in season 2. I think John Henry Iron is my favorite supporting character in most TV shows I've seen. Uh, like the black guy, if you know what I mean, the guy that has the steel suit.
Yeah.
I think he is amazing in both seasons. Uh, he is one of the best part of season 2. He is just great, all across the board. Him turning into a good guy, man. I think it felt earned because he was never really that villainous. He was just misguided, and he really wanted to protect Earth. That was kind of cool. I also like the fact that General Lane was on Superman's side, but he didn't really like Clark, but he wasn't against Clark. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
That's my favorite Sam Lane here. I liked a
Yeah, but
lot.
what would you call it again? Like what would you call it? An anti something villain type thing?
No, he's not an NT. He is on the right side. He is clearly a good guy.
Oh, well, sorry. I mean, like,
John Henry
no, he
Iron?
is. No, sorry. I mean, oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about one of the side villains. Never mind. My mistake.
No, but Sam Lane. Sam Lane is you know who I'm
You're
talking about.
talking. Okay. Yeah,
It's
my
the
my bad. I
general.
got the characters mixed up. Yeah, my bad.
The general, Lois' father.
Yeah. Okay.
I like the fact that he was on Superman's side, but he didn't really like Clark.
Hmm.
Because usually Sam Lane is always against Clark and Superman, but this one is not. So I think that was a good
Yeah.
twist. But yeah, the fact that
Yeah.
that Sam Lane is great. John Henry Iron, the black guy,
I
being
mean, so
more.
would you like it more if like they trade Sam Lane like that in future adaptations, or you think it should kind of be like separated from other? It do you think it like depends, or oh, do you like it? Would you be happy if like they portrayed him like that in like other adaptations of like Superman, or do you think it should just like stay mainly in this show?
To
It
be
works better for
honest,
this.
I like diversity in my iteration. Uh, I think if you always do the same thing, it's not interesting. It's interesting when you do it. You do it. If you do it well, it's great. But if you take a look to past stuff and you're like, oh, that was good, let's do it again, I'm not on board. All depends on what they plan to do with future iteration of Sam Lane. Like in the future, if they want to mix like um this version and Smallville version per se, that could be great. Like the guy likes Clark, but he hates Superman. You know, that could be amazing. You know, but if they redo the same thing, it must be done on a clever way. It must be done to serve the plot well. I don't have any expectation in future iteration. All I want is like good character. Don't be lazy. Don't tell stories we already have heard about and we already have seen.
I mean, do you have any like ideas in particular that you would like? You know, like how they made it his character different. Do you have like any ideas in your head that you would like to see in an adaptation in the future that if you or if you were ever to like have some creative control of something, is
Uh,
there any change that you would kind of want to make that you think would be interesting?
I think I would give a character arc. But me, what I like is like character growth. So what I would do if I was in charge, I would really ask for more than one movie or more than one season, so it has some kind of arc, you know. Um, I think I would start off like Sam doesn't know Clark or Superman, but because he doesn't trust him or know him, he's not against him or with him. He just doesn't trust him, and then he get to trust him, and then he discover it's like his son-in-law and stuff, and then it grows into, okay, I like the fact that you're Superman, but I hate the fact that you're with my daughter. A bit like um what Superman and Lois did early stage in the season. And then later on in the character arc, I would place it into a situation where Superman has been turned, and then he wants to appeal toward the Clark side. Do you know what I mean? So at the end, he would accept both
Yeah.
sides.
Mm-hmm. Uh, that would be interesting. I wouldn't mind that. I mean, so I mean, I haven't kept up with like comic books as of late, but I mean, I heard they like did something like they made his like son gay or something. I just want to know like if what have they ever done? Have they done like any adaptation of his son in a Superman show or film before? Or
I I remember in Smallville we had like an
Mhm.
episode in the last season where we had basically Clark half brother because that was some kind of Lex clone, and during one episode that was kind of sad. It was only one episode, but that's what we got. Clark basically helped training his half brother, and that was kind of cool. That's the closest
Mhm.
thing I've seen, but
Because I wanted to ask if this show would ever take the route where then they where they eventually have his son in this show and they do all that stuff. Like what would be your like one thing you would like hope for in the writing, make it good?
uh, we are speaking about Superman's son.
If they were like to bring him into this show, basically, have like the comics and be gay and everything. Like what would be like the number one thing with like the writing and like building up his character that you would want to be like invested and compelled or whatever?
It's really hard for me because when you ask me that, all I think about is about spoiler stuff in season 2 of Superman and Lois.
Uh,
So I'm like, it's really hard for me to like dissociate myself and have some new ideas, because I like so much what I've seen in season 2. I'm like,
because I
because
mean, would you like it more if there was like a more like would you like it more if there were like more scenes of him like him with Clark Kent or more
the
scenes of him kind of like on his own, like at like school and stuff. If they were kind of like Stargirl, if they would ever try to do something like that with him.
if they would try that, I think if he's a main character, you mean?
Yeah, if they eventually would like move the show over to that.
I think it would be very hard to make it because we already had Smallville that was kind of like
Hmm.
that, and we have
Yeah, well, what I
Superman and
mainly
Lois
mean,
that is kind of
yeah, I
like
mean,
that.
I don't think they will, but it's just like a what if. Would you want too many scenes with like him and Clark Kent together, or would you think would be better
Of
if they're more
course, I would
separated?
want these scenes because what I remember the most about the earlier season of Smallville. I say the earlier because later season it's other stuff, but the earlier season in Smallville, the best scenes were Jonathan and Clark together. So I think if we would ever do a Superboy TV show, and Superboy is the main character and Clark is just a side character, I still want Clark around, and I still want Clark to be very important to the story. And I think if it's done like Smallville with villains of the week, if they are linked together, it could be good. It's really hard because we already have seen that, but I think if it's well done, it can be done again. If it's well done, and if you tackle other characters, if you do other storyline, I think it can work. A Smallville type show with Superboy. Um, but here again, we need Clark,
Hmm.
because
Yeah, I agree. I was just
Jonathan
starting
was
fucking neighbors
essential.
and
You
fucking
cannot.
neighbors are yelling in the background. My bad.
That's good. Like, you cannot make a Superboy TV show without Superman. It doesn't make sense. It's like making a Clark story, a Superman story, and Jonathan and Martha never picked him up. It doesn't make sense if you do that.
I mean, would you? Odd. Yeah. I mean, there's just one more question I had about like a what if, like for this type of thing. Interested in you to hear, and like, there's always like these typical stories people have of like, what if Superman was evil and stuff.
We already had
A
that.
lot of it's kind of like cliche at
Yeah.
this point, I would say. But is there any? Would there be any new idea you would have to make that less cliche and more interesting story of like a Superman is evil type thing and with his like parents?
That's hard because we already had that. So it's really hard to like
Is there like a
reinvent.
new flavor you would like put into it, to make it more like less cliche, more unique? I mean, what I like one idea I had was like his original parents, not his human parents, if they didn't die, and then they did something like involving that, and they like came back instead of
What?
Zod, or like his human parents are him just becoming evil.
Yeah,
And do
or
you have any ideas yourself?
we all remember. I remember Zor El in
Hmm.
Smallville. That was basically his uncle. That was basically Kara's father, Supergirl father, basically.
Yeah.
And that uncle was a villain. And I feel like, what if Clark was raised by Zor-El instead of Jor-El? That could be like one of the few reasons why he would be evil, but how to make it interesting, it's so hard because we already had Superman and Lois doing it.
It's so overdone. That's why it's a curious thing, because there are a lot of people who don't, who I say honestly don't truly understand Superman. Really, they always try to make like do something like that of him like being more violent, killing people, or like being kind of a bit evil. Try to make his character, or just pull a full 180 and make something like the film Brightburn. To try to make something interesting out of it, in their words. But honestly, all of it ends up being just overdone and cliche. So
Yeah.
it's an interesting topic, like that I've always brought up to people. Like, what would you try to do, to put a different, twist on it to make it more interesting?
Yeah, it's really hard like to make something original, and I'm really critical on the writing of people, so I will not like put out something or speak about a story if I haven't worked the story, because they will be able to pick it apart the same way as I do with theirs. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why it's really hard for me like to build something, and right now, well, not right now, but I have a plan in my mind. Eventually I will do videos about how to write season of TV show I didn't really like, and I will start with Arrow because season 3 and 4 got the awful, and that's one of my favorite shows. So
Yeah, that you said like season 1 and 5 are like god tier. You said or something.
1, 2, 5 are god tier. There are 3 god tier season.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had 3 and 4. They were
Seasons did they make anyway? Like 9.
they did 8, and even
Mm.
like after 5, it was still worth watching. We had flaws. There were issue in
Yeah.
6,
I
7,
mean, have
8.
you seen Gotham? Would you say that's worth watching? Because a lot of people,
Got him.
I never ended up watching it, but I saw like characters from it because a lot of people bring up like characters and their like designs and stuff for like it's saying like
I've seen
kind
Got him.
of like the portrayals of certain ones, like the Riddler, like his design and stuff. So, but a lot
So
of people said like season 1 of Gotham was like really bad, but from
yeah.
there it like starts to slowly improve more and more with each season. So, but I've never seen it, so I'm wondering what your opinion is on it.
So Gotham, it's been a while. I will be honest. I've only seen
Hmm.
all 5 season once. Is it because it's bad or good? Well, it's hard to say. Season 1, I'm on board with pretty much everyone. That's the worst season. It's very filler of the week, villain of the week, and I think we had some kind of overall story in season 1 that was kind of good, but there are a lot of bad stuff surrounding it. So season 1 is really rough. Um, as the show kept going, I think each season, based on what I remember at least, was better than the previous one. But the sad fate of that show is the fact that they canceled the show in between season 4 and 5, and they gave a shorter run in season 5 only for them to get the 100th episode out. So this really affected the ending, and it really tarnished the ending, because I think when they first ended season 4, they were like, okay, we will have our usual run for season 5, and we have that amazing ending to it, and they ended up doing half of what they thought they would do. So I think it's really a sad case. I will rewatch for sure, because I plan on making a video about that show as well. And I think, as I said, it goes better and better, but it's not for everyone. Here's the thing: it's very cheesy, and like, it feels like, what if Smallville was a bit darker, if you know what I mean. Like, there's a lot of comic book stuff in it. Like, if you're into the comics, I think you will like it. If you're not
I
really
mean,
into
did you like the Catwoman or Catgirl, whatever, portrayal in Gotham, or no?
I enjoyed her. I enjoyed her a lot. I think I like pretty much everyone, to be honest, in the show. Everyone nailed it. I think,
I mean, did they have Clayface in the show at all?
yeah, if I remember correctly, he appears in season 2, but that's far
'Cause I
away.
really, really want to see, like, in the Batman film. I really want to. A lot of people keep bringing up Mister Freeze again. They want somebody like Mister Freeze.
Yeah,
You know, that would be pretty perfect for her now. So because it's not somebody like Mister Freeze, it's just could probably, like, if they brought like Two Face as the villain for the Batman, it's just gonna be like a cliche, like another mafia
yeah,
villain character, which I agree with. A lot of people keep bringing up Mister Freeze, and again, I would love that as well. But the main one I really been wanting is Clayface, because I just been wanting Clayface in like an animated or live action thing done really well for ages, ever since he was in that like Lego Batman game.
yeah.
Just wondering like how he was portrayed in the
I
Gotham show though.
I think the biggest flaw of the Gotham show is not the characters; it's the writing of the story overall, and the weekly approach. Sometimes you're like, oh, another villain of the week, and you're like, I've already seen so far 2 seasons of Arrow at that point. I've already seen
Yeah,
10
yeah.
seasons of Smallville at that point. I've already seen that. I've already seen this. So that's Gotham biggest flaw, and this is why
And
I
would you
think,
say like some of the writing is more of just like things you wish happened that didn't, or would you say it's mostly just actual flaws, like lazy writing?
actual flaws. I think. Um,
But yeah, I mean, so how was Clayface portrayed in that show though? How like well would you say?
it's far, man. I can't remember. As I said, I remember really like my issues being the story in itself. The characters are fine, but that's far, man. That's We are speaking about almost 10 years ago now. At that point, it was season 2 was like 2015 to 2016, so that's like 7 years. In 7 years, I've seen a lot of stuff. So it's really hard for me to remember exactly. I remember enjoying the characters. The characters are great. If you watch a show for the characters, I think you will enjoy the trip, even if the story is rough around the edge. Um, I
I'll
also
definitely give it a chance if I have the time in the future.
I also think they are not really lazy the same way the boys are. based on what I remember, at least. I've only seen it once, as I said, so maybe I speak too fast and I just don't remember. But they are not really lazy, but yeah. If you like comic books, I think you can be into it. Uh, the
Yes.
Riddler was great. The
Oh,
Penguin was cool.
and that's what a lot of people praise the Riddler and his outfit. A lot of people are like, I wish they just, followed the Riddler like attire and
The
used that in the Batman instead of making it him, giving him the look that they did the
the
Batman.
only
But
the only villain I really remember the most is the Riddler and the wannabe Joker. These two are great.
mhm.
I say wannabe Joker because they never named him the Joker, but that was obvious. That was their intent. But because of right issues, they cannot use that name. But yeah, I think the Joker and Riddler are great. These are the most standout characters. And you asked Catwoman earlier. I think what I enjoyed the most is the way she evolved during the seasons. In season 5, she felt much more like Catwoman. Um, yeah, I think they casted well, the entire cast, even the teens. I'm kind of surprised, because teens, it's it or miss, it's usually their first job, so you can
Yeah,
tell. But I think they nailed it for most of the casting.
that's good to know. I mean, honestly, okay, so I had like, okay, so back to Superman and Lois now. Yeah, we're basically done talking about it now. We gave our ratings, but there was one more question I had
Yep.
before we wrap up that topic fully. That was so with the state of like Warner Bros. Right now and them canceling shows, there's a lot of rumors that and what they canceled the Flash and they're canceling a lot of other stuff in
Oh,
films and shows. And the rumors,
wait.
there's some rumors that they're going to cancel Superman and Lois before it's wrapped up. What
Look,
do you think about that?
you said cancel the Flash. This is
Not
a
cancel, just end it,
click
but they
bait.
end it.
It's the actors call and the people making the show call.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't
It's
mean to
not
say
Zaslav.
actors in the Flash, but I mean, although that they were planning to maybe go one more season with it, but
I
so you could say a bit prematurely, but all right, right now I didn't mean to say cancel with the Flash, but I mean, yeah, that's ended, no, but they're canceling like other
yeah.
films and other shows, so, and again, there's rumors that they might cancel Doom Patrol, which I would fucking hate because I love that, and Superman and Lois before they're fully wrapped up, or at least
Um
tell them to like end it prematurely sooner than expected. Do you think that's gonna happen with Superman and Lois or?
not with season 3. And here's the why. We already got Legends cancelled and we already got
Oh well, season three is probably
Batwoman.
most definitely gonna happen, but they mean after that they might cancel it after season three.
After season 3, I really don't know, but here's the thing. I think it's a praised show. Even season 2, even if season 2 was weak here, I think overall a lot of people enjoyed. And based on a lot of comments, the less critical people think that season is better than 1. So there's a lot of belief season 2 was better than 1. And they did think a lot. They did do a lot of the things bigger, and they did try to make it better and bigger. So I think like the normies will think season 2 was better than 1. So I think the show is still on a very good spot, and I don't see Zaslav cutting it even after season 3. Now all depends on season 3 here again. If season 3 end up being bad and people notice, even normies, then maybe Zaslav will say, yeah, pull the plug. But if they do as good as the first 2 seasons, I don't think Zaslav will do that because yes, he canceled Batgirl,
But the
But
thing is, it's because he said that he wants to. They want to like they then made a new report saying like not anytime soon, but they are kind of like planning on eventually leaning into like ending all production on like shows on HBO Max and everything, and they want to, even if stuff is successful, they said that kind of just want to like start getting rid of them slowly, more and more, like all this all stuff like Superman and Lois and Blue Beetle to make it less confusing and then to focus on like the big projects. They said that's why a lot of people think it's in danger.
uh, I think people are panicking because of Batgirl, and I think there's a big difference between Batgirl and Superman and Lois. Superman and Lois had 2 seasons, and both seasons were well received by pretty much everyone, even the most critical ones. As I said,
Mhm.
that season was really good. So coming into season 3, if it drops, I think it will be in danger, but as long as it's good, I don't see Zaslav saying, "Oh yeah, it's good. People enjoy that content. Let's cut it." I don't see that happening. And he did cut Batkill because that wasn't part of his vision, but I think there's more reason to that, and he could not say it publicly, But maybe the movie wasn't that great, and maybe based on what I've heard from pretty much everyone covering the topic, because I've seen a lot of videos about Zaslav canceling stuff, Zaslav speaking out about the 10 years plan. I think Zaslav want to do everything Marvel does, but the reverse. I think he sees the future downfall of Marvel because let's be honest, as much as people will defend to their death Marvel, it's nowhere near as good as
They
what.
back themselves in a corner. They're running out of ideas to format. People are getting sick of. And
Yeah,
Zaslav, knows that this was eventually going to happen. Everyone
and
knew it. They're just busy doing all these shows now that nobody of characters barely anyone cares about.
yeah, and the anti woke. I think they did something. They woke up a few people, or I should say, they made they gave reason to hate something to a lot of people, and I think
I
that's.
do think like majority of the anti woke people. I mean, like I and I agree with like the downfall of the MCU and all the issues, but just not the ones they bring up. I think just
Yeah,
what the reasons they have for hating on it mostly and bringing that stuff up is just kind of a bit stupid. At least a lot of them, not all of them,
yeah,
and I think they're mainly just doing it for the clicks, grifting. But
yeah. But yeah, Zaslav, I think he sees Marvel falling, and he's like, I will shine. I will make DC great again. And I think when he's.
because all the people are realizing, like, you do the universe thing, like MCU doesn't need to be that connected,
Yeah,
and they realize like how many restraints there are for like creative freedom, and why they feel all the same. So even though the DCEU is kind of a mess right now, like having stuff more separated, like the Batman, more people are going to realize that's good for the film, so they're going to keep supporting those more.
yeah. And I think Batgirl felt like. Batgirl had a lot of backlash. And I think Zaslav, by doing what he did to Batgirl, he did some kind of damage control. Because the the anti woke, trust me, once Batgirl flop or bomb, they will all be on it because they like doing it, and I cannot agree with
Hmm.
that because you shed some light on some things not everyone will realize. Oh wait, it's bombing. Um, I think Zazav is like, I will protect my back. I will try to gain some fun by doing so. So he just caught the movie, and we will go back to who made that movie. The same people as Miss Marvel, and Miss Marvel had a low viewership. So maybe Zaslav connects the dot, or maybe his team connect the dot, and they're like, if Miss Marvel had low viewership, maybe it's because it wasn't that great. Even if you want to defend it, there was no traction around the show. Nobody cared. Nobody watched. You know. So I think they were like Batgirl is made by the same kind of people. We had test screening that wasn't that enthusiastic. So I think they were like, let's cancel Batgirl. Um, and I think he did the right thing. And canceling more stuff is also the right thing to do because
I think you did the right thing in areas and when it comes to like quality
yeah,
control, but I do think canceling it made. I understand it on a business perspective to an extent, and on quality control. Quality control is the main thing. Everything you're saying right now, that's exactly the right reasons for canceling it. But everything else, I think there was little reason to because again, no matter how bad the show was or sorry, the film was or whatnot, how much money they saved up just and everything they did they literally could have just released it with no advertising, just silently just released what they had without the reshoots, just at least have it out there, not be have a finished film, just be lost media, just release it, time theaters or not, or just on a subscription thing, and they would have made the 15 to 20 million back that they apparently saved from canceling it, at least made that back, and at least have it out there, and then just say
uh,
like
it's more than that.
sort of like an animated film, like Injustice. Just say it's not connected to anything, just something
Yeah.
different, and then just go from there.
So I think they saved more than that because if you want your movie, like even if you drop it, like you want still some people to see it regardless. Otherwise, what's the point of dropping it? Do you know what I mean? So I think if they wanted to drop it, they would spend some money to drop it, and they would spend some money in the marketing area, and I feel like they saved a lot of money by not spending that money on marketing on something that would bomb. And if you just release it the way you say, well, if HBO is dying, for how long it will be available, and then other people will like find other ways to like upload it on their own platform or on illegal free streaming platform. You know what I mean? So they wanted like the full control of
I
it.
mean, again, I'm not denying that. Again, I'm not saying it. I'm not saying like the 15 to 20 million. I think they would have at least made that back. That they it was reported on that they saved if they released it. I think. I don't know. I just think it like again, even though it's all the things you said about it, like it being bad, it being like a clusterfuck of where it belongs in DC, being a small thing, getting negative reception, being like the just a mess all around with why they would cancel it. It's still bad publicity to like people who are thinking about working for them, or just to the public eye of canceling it that close to the finish line.
Yeah,
That's another
that's
thing.
something to think. Now, as I said, I think as of Superman and Lois, as long as it's good, I don't see them canceling it. Look, there were talk for many years of the Flash movie, and we had the Flash TV shows in going. And the only reason why it wasn't released is production L. It's not the Flash TV show. It's really like what happened on set, what happened on the writer side, on the actor side, and stuff, and rewriting, reshooting. It's the reason why it was on production L. It has nothing to do with the Flash. Um, and we can go back to Smallville. We had Smallville 6th season at the same time as Superman Returns in 2006. So I don't think it clashes. It's not an excuse. People like to make excuse. It's not one.
Hmm.
So I do think Superman and Lois, as long as it's good, it's safe. Now, I'm a bit worried about Stargirl. I really hope this fall release will help the show viewership. I know it's not as good as Superman and Lois. So maybe they will look at the viewership because it's a show that costs money. So maybe Stargirl, it will be the last season. Uh,
I think season 3 might be the last season. I don't see them continuing with it after that,
yeah.
unless it's like a huge hit. But then again, what's considered a huge hit? I mean, you might not. Because apparently that fucking Titan show got 100% on Rotten Tomatoes somehow for season 3.
Oh
Looks
my!
so fucking bad.
Have you seen it so far? Have you seen Titans?
I I tried watching 2 episodes of it and I turned it off. It was
I like to suffer, so I've seen all 3 seasons.
oh fuck! The actors in that did they get it from? Did they get the actors in that from like a fucking porn shoot?
I don't know.
Like, Jesus
Oh
Christ!
my! So I will be.
What was even the point of that fucking show? I don't get it.
I don't know. Having new subscriber to the DC Universe network, but they fell because they closed doors. Now it's just a comic stuff.
Like I just don't under out of all the fucking CW and DC shows, like fucking, I just don't get what the point of Titans was. What they were even trying to accomplish with that show. That was just had no reason to exist. But whatever.
Uh, look, Titans. I think it has a lot of good ideas, but they are not able to properly execute said ideas. They are not able to bring in these ideas well. They just don't know how to do it. Season 3 is a train wreck.
Yeah, it's a train wreck. But,
And it's the best season. That's the worst than that.
Jesus Christ. But yeah. Oh, I mean, is there any? I mean, I think we're almost like done. But is there we're. Is there any movie news you wanted to discuss? So, like, I know there was the Oppenheimer teaser that dropped. Did you check that out?
What's that?
Oh, it's the new Christopher Nolan film, based off of or whatever his name is, Oppenheimer, the guy who did the atomic bomb, in World
Okay.
War II. It was like a 40-second teaser. It dropped. It looked pretty cool. It
Okay.
has a pretty stacked cast. And there were some people bitching because it was like all white cast, even though that's the time period. And because in the 40s, obviously, people of color didn't get those jobs in that field.
Twitter
I
is
mean,
on
it's just,
fire.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it was a pretty good teaser. I don't know if you're excited for that, but yeah, I mean, I do have some issues with Nolan as a filmmaker, and especially with like Batman films.
I enjoy
And
Nolan, man. I enjoyed Inception. I enjoyed pretty much everything I've seen
I
except
enjoy pretty much
Dark
all of
Knight
them. There's not
Rises.
a single film I didn't enjoy, but there's always like small issues I have with each one of them. Even Memento, which I
I
consider
agree.
his masterpiece.
I agree with you on that.
Uh, yeah, but
So I think
I would say his most hated film by far is Dunkirk. That
I
I
haven't
didn't
seen it.
like how it was. I didn't like how it was PG for a war film, but he disguised it being PG really well. Still didn't need the blood and violence for a war film, but either way, I thought Dunkirk honestly worked really well with his style as a film because a lot of people have issues with some of his writing and character development, like making like cliche like characters just like oh they care about their family, woman character cliche just family son. But in Dunkirk, it's just a film about multiple people trying to survive. You don't need to know too much about them, and you don't need too much to like care about them with how it's portrayed in the film. Like you can just have like one character like just show a shot of him having a wedding ring. Like okay, he has a wife now, got it. Like you don't need to like show it or talk about it. Like I thought his weaknesses in other films with some of his writing, kind of like Zack Snyder, and with like some cliches and everything, worked really well in Dunkirk. And a lot of people thought that was an overrated film, but
I think I will
well,
watch it after what
I
you said.
honestly thought it's his most underrated. I really loved it. Like again, I could understand a lot of issues with a lot of his films, and even that one to an extent, but I think that one was way overlooked out of like his full filmography. And I would say his most overrated though is probably The Prestige. I did not understand the hype too much for The Prestige, me personally. I don't know
Yeah.
if you saw it, the one magician film, but
No. As I
uh,
said, I'm not that cultivated in movies. I've seen a lot of movies, but there's a lot of movies I
yeah.
haven't seen.
Again, for me, like TV shows, I always start on them, but with how many episodes there are and stuff, and I'm not too much into like just binge watching them unless I'm super invested into it, like I was with Invincible
Yeah.
or Attack on Titan. So I
Yeah.
always then like hold them off, like okay, I'll watch them maybe like next day or something, and then it's like 5 years or 10 years pass, and I still haven't finished them. But movies, just an hour and a half or whatever, or done, eat pretty simple, or I since I go to the theaters a lot, I just sit there and watch the whole thing, so it's pretty easy, a lot easier for me than TV shows, so that's why I watch a lot of them
I
and a
feel you,
lot
man.
more frequently. Yeah, but I guess you're kind of like the opposite though with it.
Yeah, I'm into TV
Binge
shows.
watching.
Yeah. If it's good, I binge watch. Right now, I'm into season 2 of Agents of Shield. I enjoyed the ride so far, but season 2 started off much weaker than 1. That's kind of sad, so I'm kind of worried about the rest. I'm like, it's already
I mean,
going
is there
downhill.
any film that you would say was like really exceptional this year so far, in your opinion?
Kick ass, man. I don't know if you have seen it.
Oh, which one?
Both.
Both.
The Kick Ass 1, Kick Ass 2.
Oh, Kick Ass 1 and Kick Ass. Oh, you saw those this year? Ooh,
Many
I
years
really
ago.
loved Kick Ass 1.
Many
Kick
years
Ass 2,
ago.
I'll be honest, I was really disappointed by Kick Ass 2, but
I've seen both on release date in the theater. I liked it
uh,
so many
again,
times.
I really loved the first one. Second one, though, I was kind of disappointed by. Maybe
Yeah.
I'll rewatch it and see if I think differently, but yeah. I mean, this year though, yeah, there's been a lot of films I really loved.
I
There's
think
the one film I recommended for you for that we can review next week,
yeah,
which is The
The
Lighthouse.
Lighthouse.
As the same director has done two other films so far, and he's already becoming one of my favorite directors. His first film was The Witch, which I thought was great, but his third one came out after The Lighthouse, which came out this year, called The Northman,
Oh
which is
yeah, I've
like a
heard about
Viking
it.
film. Yeah, it's like a Viking film. Maybe that could be like my next recommendation on the next stream. But yeah, I honestly that's probably like my favorite film
I
so
think
far this year.
I think my favorite this year was the Batman, and that's not
Yeah,
that
makes
much to
sense.
say because I haven't seen that many movies this year. I
Uh,
think this year I've seen X, really bad movie. Um,
you see, there was another film I would like, but the thing is like it's like it's half English, half like Mandarin. Thing everywhere all at once. I don't know if you heard of it.
yeah, I've heard about it.
It's like a samurai type. It's a lot of genres like drama. A very interesting concept. And you said you're not too into like the subtitles, but I mean it's half like English, half subtitles. So I don't know if you'd
Oh
like.
my, no.
I don't know if you would give it a chance.
No, if it's like that, no, 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 not for me.
Mm, yeah,
But I've also,
yeah. Like,
I've,
again, with the subtitles, that's the thing. You said like no subtitle films, but there
no.
are like some films I think about where I'm like, okay, well, like there was one film I was thinking of recommending you because it's in subtitles, but it's only like there's only like character talking for like 10% of the film. The 90% rest of it, there's like no talking, so you don't even like need to read the subtitles.
Really. We will see, man. We will see what
Yeah,
the
we'll see,
future
but
has to
yeah.
give. Oh, I've also seen Sonic 2 this year, and
Oh yeah,
Sonic 1
Sonic.
as well.
I mean, Sonic 1 and 2, I would say I'm below average as films in general, but for video game films and Sonic films, they're great.
I enjoyed my time with both for different reasons. I think,
I really like Knuckles
I
in the
think,
second.
I think the first one, had the better story, but the second one had the better action.
Yeah, that's pretty spot on. Yeah, I mean the first one was basic but better story, and then yeah, second focuses more on the Sonic elements from there.
But I enjoyed both. Like, I
Yeah.
think both are kind of even for me, but for different
A lot of
reasons.
people complain like you don't need the human characters anymore. It's like after the second Sonic, and it's like, well, I'm sure they're gonna move away from them. If they're more, will just be like really side characters. Like he'll show up every once in a while, take some advice from them and stuff. But I mean, there's always been human characters in the games, so and
The
especially
human
like
were
the
subplots in
2006
the
one.
second one, so
Yeah.
I don't see why people were bothered by
It's
that.
like I think they'll just do that from there, just have them be a subplot, not like any main characters or anything.
I'm fine with
There's
it.
That's always been like that in the Sonic franchise. There's always been human characters as like subplots and and supporting characters with Sonic. So I mean, I don't
Yeah.
really complain too much. But I mean, yeah, if they do a third Sonic soon, I mean, I definitely think they'll probably have they'll have Shadow in that and stuff, and Amy and villain. Yeah, the villain will be Shadow, but then I also think uh they'll have like what's his name? I forgot the name of it, but just like actual robot version of the Doctor
Robotnik,
Eggman,
Eggman.
Robotnik. Yeah, I think that's what they'll do to bring him back after how the second ended.
Yeah. Anyway, is there any closing thoughts for today's stream? Any last
No,
things
that's
you'd
about
like
it.
to speak
Pretty
about?
great, pretty great. But yeah,
Thank you
yeah, I'll
for
definitely.
coming.
No problem. I'm gonna see Bullet Train and
Can't
yeah,
wait.
I'm gonna see Bullet Train on Thursday for our Sunday stream next week. So yeah,
Yeah, I will do the same Tuesday. I will go watch it Tuesday. So I hope guys
nice.
enjoyed, and thank you again for you. You're a great guest. We always find the time in the week to just meet and speak about
Mhm.
movies and shows. I like it. It's just great having you here.
It's great. It's just yeah, sometimes a lot of things come up where I have to delay it or don't have enough time, and
That's
it's been
fine.
sucking lately. But I've been going through a bit. Like
It will be fixed one day or another.
yeah, well, luckily now we've caught up again after like delaying a lot of streams and then having to
Yeah.
like schedule them for like days apart. So now it's like a week. It's a week for the next one again now. So it
Yeah.
should be all right again.
Yeah. So yeah, I hope everyone